Chapter 21. When the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negeb, heard that the Israelites were coming along the way of Atharim, he engaged them in battle and took some of them captive. Israel then made this vow to the Lord: "If you deliver this people into my hand, I will doom their cities." Later, when the Lord heeded Israel's prayer and delivered up the Canaanites, they doomed them and their cities. Hence that place was named Hormah. From Mount Hor they set out on the Red Sea road to bypass the land of Edom. But with their patience worn out by the journey, the people complained against God and Moses. "Why have you brought us up from Egypt to die in this desert, where there is no food or water? We are disgusted with this wretched food." In punishment, the Lord sent among the people serpents, which bit the people so that many of them died. Then the people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned in complaining against the Lord and you. Pray the Lord to take the serpents from us." So Moses prayed for the people, and the Lord said to Moses, "Make a seraph and mount it on a pole, and if anyone who has been bitten looks at it, he will recover." Moses accordingly made a bronze serpent and mounted it on a pole, and whenever anyone who had been bitten by a serpent looked at the bronze serpent, he recovered. The Israelites moved on and encamped in Oboth. Setting out from Oboth, they encamped in Iabrim, in the desert fronting Moab on the east. Setting out from there, they encamped in the Wadi Zered. Setting out from there, they encamped on the other side of the Arnon, in the desert that extends from the territory of the Amorites, for the Arnon forms Moab's boundary with the Amorites. Hence it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord, Wahab and Suphah and the Wadis, Arnon and the Wadi gorges that reach back toward the site of Ar, and the slant to the border of Moab. From there they went to Peor, where there was a well of which the Lord said to Moses, "Bring the people together, and I will give them water." Then it was that Israel sang the song, "Spring up, O well, so sing to it. The well that the princes sank, that the nobles of the people dug, with their scepters and their staffs." From Peor they went to Mattanah, from Mattanah to Nahaliel, from Nahaliel to Bamoth, from Bamoth to the cleft in the plateau of Moab at the headland of Pisgah that overlooks Jeshimon. Now Israel sent men to Sihon, king of the Amorites, with the message, "Let us pass through your country. We will not turn aside into any field or vineyard, nor will we drink any well water, but we will go straight along the royal road until we have passed through your territory." Sihon, however, would not let Israel pass through his territory, but mustered all his forces and advanced into the desert against Israel. When he reached Jahaz, he engaged Israel in battle, but Israel defeated him at the point of the sword and took possession of his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, and as far as the country of the Ammonites, whose boundary was at Jazer. Israel seized all the towns here and settled in these towns of the Amorites, in Heshbon and all its dependencies. Now Heshbon was the capital of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab and had seized all his land from Jazer to the Arnon. That is why the poets say, "Come to Heshbon, let it be rebuilt. Let Sihon's capital be firmly constructed. For fire went forth from Heshbon, and a blaze from the city of Sihon. It consumed the cities of Moab, and swallowed up the high places of the Arnon. Woe to you, O Moab! You are ruined, O people of Camish! He let his sons become fugitives, and his daughters be taken captive by the Amorite king Sihon. Their plowland is ruined from Heshbon to Dibon. Ar is laid waste, fires blaze as far as Medbah." When Israel had settled in the land of the Amorites, Moses sent spies to Jazer. Israel then captured it with its dependencies and dispossessed the Amorites who were there. Then they turned and went up along the road to Bashan, but Og, king of Bashan, advanced against them with all his people to give battle at Edrei. The Lord, however, said to Moses, "Do not be afraid of him, for into your hand I will deliver him with all his people and his land. Do to him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon." So they struck him down with his sons and all his people, until not a survivor was left to him, and they took possession of his land. Chapter 22. Then the Israelites moved on and encamped in the plains of Moab, on the other side of the Jericho stretch of the Jordan. Now Balak, son of Zippor, saw all that Israel did to the Amorites. Indeed, Moab feared the Israelites greatly because of their numbers and detested them. So Moab said to the elders of Midian, "Soon this horde will devour all the country around us as an ox devours the grass of the field." And Balak, Zippor's son, who was king of Moab at the time, sent messengers to Balaam, son of Peor, at Peor on the Euphrates, in the land of the Amorites, summoning him with these words: "A people has come here from Egypt, who now cover the face of the earth, and are settling down opposite us. Please come and curse this people for us. They are stronger than we are. We may then be able to defeat them, and drive them out of the country. For I know that whoever you bless is blessed, and whoever you curse is cursed." Then the elders of Moab and of Midian left with the divination fee in hand and went to Balaam. When they had given him Balak's message, he said to them in reply, "Stay here overnight, and I will give you whatever answer the Lord gives me." So the princes of Moab lodged with Balaam. Then God came to Balaam and said, "Who are these men visiting you?" Balaam answered God, "Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, sent the message. This people that came here from Egypt now cover the face of the earth. Please come and lay a curse on them for us. We may then be able to give them battle and drive them out." But God said to Balaam, "Do not go with them, and do not curse this people, for they are blessed." The next morning Balaam arose and told the princes of Balak, "Go back to your own country, for the Lord has refused to let me go with you." So the princes of Moab went back to Balak with the report, "Balaam refused to come with us." Balak again sent princes who were more numerous and more distinguished than the others. On coming to Balaam, they told him, "This is what Balak, son of Zippor, has to say. Please do not refuse to come to me. I will reward you very handsomely, and will do anything you ask of me. Please come and lay a curse on this people for me." But Balaam replied to Balak's officials, "Even if Balak gave me his house full of silver and gold, I could not do anything, small or great, contrary to the command of the Lord, my God. But you too shall stay here overnight, till I learn what else the Lord may tell me." That night God came to Balaam and said to him, "If these men have come to summon you, you may go with them, yet only on the condition that you do exactly as I tell you." So the next morning when Balaam arose, he saddled his ass and went off with the princes of Moab. But now the anger of the Lord flared up at him for going, and the angel of the Lord stationed himself on the road to hinder him as he was riding along on his ass, accompanied by 2 of his servants. When the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing on the road with sword drawn, she turned off the road and went into the field, and Balaam had to beat her to bring her back on the road. Then the angel of the Lord took his stand in a narrow lane between vineyards with a stone wall on each side. When the ass saw the angel of the Lord there, she shrank against the wall, and since she squeezed Balaam's leg against it, he beat her again. The angel of the Lord then went ahead and stopped next in a passage so narrow that there was no room to move either to the right or to the left. When the ass saw the angel of the Lord there, she cowered under Balaam, so in anger he again beat the ass with his stick. But now the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she asked Balaam, "What have I done to you, that you should beat me these 3 times? You have acted so willfully against me," said Balaam to the ass, "that if I had but a sword at hand, I would kill you here and now." But the ass said to Balaam, "Am I not your own beast? And have you not always ridden upon me until now? Have I been in the habit of treating you this way before?" "No," replied Balaam. Then the Lord removed the veil from Balaam's eyes, so that he too saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with sword drawn, and he fell on his knees and bowed to the ground. But the angel of the Lord said to him, "Why have you beaten your ass these 3 times? It is I who have come armed to hinder you, because this rash journey of yours is directly opposed to me. When the ass saw me, she turned away from me these 3 times. If she had not turned away from me, I would have killed you. Her I would have spared." Then Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, I have sinned, yet I did not know that you stood against me to oppose my journey. Since it has displeased you, I will go back home." But the angel of the Lord said to Balaam, "Go with the men, but you may say only what I tell you." So Balaam went on with the princes of Balak. When Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the boundary city Moab, on the Arnon, at the end of the Moabite territory. And he said to Balaam, "I sent an urgent summons to you. Why did you not come to me? Did you think I could not reward you?" Balaam answered him, "Well, I have come to you after all, but what power have I to say anything? I can speak only what God puts in my mouth." Then Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath Huzoth. Here Balak slaughtered oxen and sheep, and sent portions to Balaam and to the princes who were with him. The next morning Balak took Balaam up on Bamoth Baal, and from there he saw some of the clans. Chapter 23. Then Balaam said to Balak, "Build me 7 altars, and prepare 7 bullocks and 7 rams for me here." So he did as Balaam had ordered, offering a bullock and a ram on each altar. And Balak said to him, "I have erected the 7 altars, and I have offered a bullock and a ram on each." Balaam then said to him, "Stand here by your holocaust while I go over there. Perhaps the Lord will meet me, and then I will tell you whatever he lets me see." He went out on the barren height, and God met him. When he had put an utterance in Balaam's mouth, the Lord said to him, "Go back to Balak and speak accordingly." So he went back to Balak, who was still standing by his holocaust together with all the princes of Moab. Then Balaam gave voice to his oracle. "From Aram has Balak brought me here, Moab's king, from the eastern mountains. Come and lay a curse for me on Jacob. Come and denounce Israel." How can I curse whom God has not cursed? How denounce whom the Lord has not denounced? For from the top of the crags I see him, from the heights I behold him. Here is a people that lives apart and does not reckon itself among the nations. Who has ever counted the dust of Jacob or numbered Israel's wind-borne particles? May I die the death of the just. May my descendants be as many as theirs. "What have you done to me?" cried Balak to Balaam. "It was to curse my foes that I brought you here. Instead you have even blessed them." Balaam replied, "Is it not what the Lord puts in my mouth that I must repeat with care?" Then Balak said to him, "Please come with me to another place, from which you can see only some and not all of them, and from there curse them for me." So he brought him to the lookout field on the top of Pisgah, where he built 7 altars and offered a bullock and a ram on each of them. Balaam then said to Balak, "Stand here by your holocaust while I seek a meeting over there." Then the Lord met Balaam, and having put an utterance in his mouth, he said to him, "Go back to Balak, and speak accordingly." So he went back to Balak, who was still standing by his holocaust together with the princes of Moab. When Balak asked him, "What did the Lord say?" Balaam gave voice to his oracle. "Be aroused, O Balak, and hearken. Give ear to my testimony, O son of Zippor. God is not man that he should speak falsely, nor human that he should change his mind. Is he one to speak and not act, to decree and not fulfill? It is a blessing I have been given to pronounce, a blessing which I cannot restrain. Misfortune is not observed in Jacob, nor misery seen in Israel. The Lord his God is with him. With him is the triumph of his king. It is God who brought him out of Egypt, a wild bull of towering might. No, there is no sorcery against Jacob, nor omen against Israel. It shall not be said of Jacob and of Israel, 'Behold what God has wrought.' Here is a people that springs up like a lioness, and stalks forth like a lion. It rests not till it has devoured its prey, and has drunk the blood of the slain." "Even though you cannot curse them," said Balak to Balaam, "at least do not bless them." But Balaam answered Balak, "Did I not warn you that I must do all that the Lord tells me?" Then Balak said to Balaam, "Come, let me bring you to another place. Perhaps God will approve of your cursing them for me from there." So he took Balaam to the top of Peor, that overlooks Jeshimon. Balaam then said to him, "Here build me 7 altars, and here prepare for me 7 bullocks and 7 rams." And Balak did as Balaam had ordered, offering a bullock and a ram on each altar. Chapter 24. Balaam, however, perceiving that the Lord was pleased to bless Israel, did not go aside as before to seek omens, but turned his gaze toward the desert. When he raised his eyes and saw Israel encamped, tribe by tribe, the Spirit of God came upon him, and he gave voice to his oracle. The utterance of Balaam son of Peor, the utterance of the man whose eye is true, the utterance of one who hears what God says, and knows what the Most High knows, of one who sees what the Almighty sees, enraptured, and with his eyes unveiled. How goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your encampments, O Israel! They are like gardens beside a stream, like the cedars planted by the Lord. His wells shall yield free-flowing waters. He shall have the sea within reach. His king shall rise higher than Agag, and his royalty shall be exalted. It is God who brought him out of Egypt, a wild bull of towering might. He shall devour the nations like grass, their bones he shall strip bare. He lies crouching like a lion, or like a lioness. Who shall arouse him? Blessed is he who blesses you, and cursed is he who curses you. Balak beat his palms together in a blaze of anger at Balaam and said to him, "It was to curse my foes that I summoned you here, yet 3 times now you have even blessed them instead. Be off at once, then, to your home. I promised to reward you richly, but the Lord has withheld the reward from you." Balaam replied to Balak, "Did I not warn the very messengers whom you sent to me? Even if Balak gave me his house full of silver and gold, I could not of my own accord do anything good or evil, contrary to the command of the Lord. Whatever the Lord says, I must repeat. But now that I am about to go to my own people, let me first warn you what this people will do to your people in the days to come." Then Balaam gave voice to his oracle. The utterance of Balaam son of Peor, the utterance of the man whose eye is true, the utterance of one who hears what God says, and knows what the Most High knows, of one who sees what the Almighty sees, enraptured and with eyes unveiled. I see him, though not now. I behold him, though not near. A star shall advance from Jacob, and a staff shall rise from Israel, that shall smite the brows of Moab, and the skulls of the Shuthites, till Edom is dispossessed, and no fugitive is left in Seir. Israel shall do valiantly, and Jacob shall overcome his foes. Upon seeing Amalek, Balaam gave voice to his oracle. First of the peoples was Amalek, but his end is to perish forever. Upon seeing the Kenites, he gave voice to his oracle. Your abode is enduring, O smith, and your nest is set on a cliff, yet destined for burning, even as I watch, are your inhabitants. Upon seeing the Ishmaelites, he gave voice to his oracle. Alas, who shall survive of Ishmael, to deliver his people from the hands of the Kittim? When they have conquered Ashur and conquered Eber, he too shall perish forever. Then Balaam set out on his journey home, and Balak also went his way. Chapter 25. While Israel was living in Shittim, the people degraded themselves by having illicit relations with the Moabite women. These then invited the people to the sacrifices of their God, and the people ate of the sacrifices and worshipped their God. When Israel thus submitted to the rites of Baal of Peor, the Lord's anger flared up against Israel, and he said to Moses, "Gather all the leaders of the people and hold a public execution of the guilty ones before the Lord, that his blazing wrath may be turned away from Israel." So Moses told the Israelite judges, "Each of you shall kill those of his men who have submitted to the rites of Baal of Peor." Yet a certain Israelite came and brought in a Midianite woman to his clansmen in the view of Moses and of the whole Israelite community, while they were weeping at the entrance of the meeting tent. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, saw this, he left the assembly, and taking a lance in hand, followed the Israelite into his retreat, where he pierced the pair of them, the Israelite and the woman. Thus the slaughter of Israelites was checked, but only after 24,000 had died. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, has turned my anger from the Israelites by his zeal for my honor among them. That is why I did not put an end to the Israelites for the offense to my honor. Announce, therefore, that I hereby give him my pledge of friendship, which shall be for him and for his descendants after him, the pledge of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous on behalf of his God, and thus made amends for the Israelites. The Israelites slain with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Salu, prince of an ancestral house of the Simeonites. The slain Midianite woman was Cosbi, daughter of Zur, who was the head of a clan, an ancestral house in Midian. The Lord then said to Moses, "Treat the Midianites as enemies and crush them, for they have been your enemies by their wily dealings with you as regards Peor and as regards their kinswoman Cosbi, the daughter of the Midianite prince, who was killed at the time of the slaughter because of Peor.